Hey everybody, Z. Hope everyone's doing good. It's late and we're going to lose sunlight here in a minute, so I want to try to get this out. I told you I'd give you a backdrop of the Atlantic Ocean. This is the town of Ponce Inlet, which is right south of Daytona Beach. And tide's coming in, so there's a little bit of surf out there. So the outside bar starts shutting down and shore break will start picking up a little bit, but there's not much beach left from all the storms, and we still have a lot of washout out there. Anyway, maybe I can just pan around here for a minute. That is up to the north up there, so that's heading up to Daytona Beach, and then the other direction is this way, heading down to Ponce Inlet and New Smyrna Beach down there. And Sky does some weird things over here in the evening for some reason, but I wanted to follow up with the video that I shot out last night. And sometimes it's good to do something spontaneous and do let your emotions speak. Just keep them under control. And it takes a lot of emotion to get you to get out of your position where you're at and the paradigm that we're in and get swung out of it, because we've been in it for I don't know how many generations now. This relationship we have with our Creator, words are important. Words reflect a lot of where your mind and where your heart is at. If we use the word God, I can't stand the word God. God is a person. God is really an appointed status by man. They elevate men to the status of God. The gods and the goddesses, and anywhere from Caesar to Titus Flavius to whoever it is that they want to elevate, even George Washington, they tried to deify this man. And who tried to deify him? But the Masons. And I don't want it to always come back to this group, but everything always does for some reason. And I had an interview with one, and I said I wouldn't disclose, and I got to keep my word to it. So I watched an interview with two others, and I'm going to use their interview to share something with you. All of us had this, I guess, inherent desire to want. Men and women are kind of seeking the same thing. I'm going to say this. As men, when we think of our Father, we want something we desire from Him. We want His approval. And it's important to us that Daddy looks down and says, he's I wouldn't say the word impressed, but good job, son. You did good. And you want His approval and His acceptance. And that's very hard to get sometimes, because men are, whatever they are, something wrong in their fucking heads. But it's young boys want it. They want Daddy at the ball game, when you hit the home run. And basically, you just want time with your father. That's normal. Little girls are the same way. They're not looking for approval so much as they're looking for Daddy's love and Daddy's direction and Daddy's protection, because he's supposed to be protecting her and Mommy and the whole family. So when Daddy runs out and buys a fucking Corvette and goes and flirts with a girl down the street and this shit's going on, the first person who pays for it is the children. Because whatever spare time that you have, I'm all over the board here, just bear with me. Whatever spare time that you may have in your life, usually is you will substitute that time with your kids. Well, she's got a ballerina thing tonight, or she's got a volleyball game, or he's got a soccer match, or whatever it is. And those are times when they're going to be occupied and Mom's going to be at the game, and that's when you got an opportunity for 3 hours or whatever it is. Men, you know what I'm talking about, that you could sneak out and have your little playtime. So the kids pay for it first, but they're also the first ones who pick up on what's going on here. And let me tell you right, let me just set this right here, men. You never get away with it. I don't know how sharp you think you are, how sneaky you think you are, how you got shit covered. She knows you're doing it before you ever whip your dick out of your pants. She already knows. It's called something you don't have in you. It's called intuition. And a mother's and a wife's intuition, she knows fucking shit's going down. So you're not fooling anyone to start with. She's just putting up with it because she doesn't want the whole family torn apart, but you can't keep your fucking cock in your pants. Get that out of the way. But the children pay for it first, and so they're the first ones who really can pick up on, something's not right here. But the little girl, she wants time, and she wants that affection and Daddy's protection. So So when dad turns out to be a piece of shit, as our father has, it hurts all of us. And we're all seeking, and sometimes it makes us seek more for it. We desire more and more and more for that admission, or for that approval from him, or the dad's, you impress dad and you want to show off for him and do, and the little girl wants dad, and they'll work so much harder to get that out of him. And I think that's us as the children here on earth. We so desire to have this relationship with him, and it's just not going to happen. He doesn't give a fuck, okay? He's not coming to your ball game. He doesn't give a fucking shit about your ball game. That's the time for him to go out and fucking be what he wants to do, okay? And I know that fucking hurts, and it cuts deep into all of us. And it cuts deep into little girls. The little girls go out then and look for a replacement. This is so important. She looks for that replacement in a man. And all she's going to do is she's on that merry-go-round loop of that same, she finds that man, he thinks he's there, he's the new replacement, and turns out he's just as bad or not worse than, the role model example we have as a Heavenly Father. How do I know that this entity that we all desire isn't good and is evil? Because no loving father would allow this to happen. There is no loving father that will allow a child to be raped and abused. You couldn't, as a father, loving father, men, if I'm talking to you out there, you couldn't. There aren't chains big enough. There isn't nothing that could hold you back from protecting your daughter or your child. Nothing. So the fact that this does take place, he doesn't exist. And if he does exist, he's the asshole that we're all dealing with. Mom, on the other hand, we all want to have, it's weird. It's no matter how much of a shithead he is, we always want we want something from him that we're never going to get. And Mom's always there, and she makes up for him. And like I said in the one video, you want to go do something, and Dad says, you're not going to do it, and I'm not going to let you do it, blah, 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 blah. And you're crushed over it. It's like, could be prom or something, that he's just an ass. And Mom says, let me work with him. I got him. I know how to get what I want. And Mom comes through for you. And that's why we have what we have, because she's there, but he's got control. I was watching this video of, I see a recurrence here. I think the channel was Pedro V and another channel, but they're trying to figure things out, and it's always this fallback that they go to. Well, the world's not perfect and blah, 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 but God's in control, and God's in control. I hear this all the time. Yeah, God is in control. That's the problem. He's in control of this realm. And I'll say this to the men out there, because I'm going to get fired up here in a minute. I'm trying not to. But you men out there think your shit is so fucking great, and you've done and conquered and built and done all this shit. And it is amazing. That's a man's world. But the irony of this? It's a man's world built by a woman. Yeah, she built this place. She built the earth. This is her. And you live off of her. It's her energy. But yet, you're the fucking man, and you didn't create a goddamn thing. She just allows it. So men, our role and our responsibility, this is where I take it, is that, okay, we got to step up to the plate, and we got to fix. You got to be able to say, hey, I don't know how we fix it. I just know the shit stops here. No more of this shit. I'm not going to allow this shit to go another generation and of divorces and families torn apart and children being sexually molested. This shit stops right here. And you got to acknowledge your mother. If I could ask the men, like Tony and this other gentleman, I thought one of the best interviews I've heard. Two of the most sound-spoken men I've heard, and maybe I've heard since I've come through this. And I was so excited, like, yeah, and it just dropped at the end. And as they go back to saying, they throw the God word out there again. It's like, obviously, you don't have a relationship with her. If you did, you would be talking way differently. You'd be using different nomenclature and words, because you have a relationship with your mom. If I could ask those men and you, do you know anything about her? Do you? Do you know what kind of food she likes? You know what color her hair is? You know what makes her happy? You know what you could do for her? If you can't answer those questions, you don't have a relationship with her. And all she wants is that, a relationship with you. She wants you to come home. I'll say this is very difficult because you can't manufacture this. Just maybe close your eyes and picture a little farmhouse. And she's in the kitchen, she's cooking. She says, come on boys, supper's on the table. She's got everything you like. Mac and cheese or green beans. She made your favorite dessert. She just wants you to come home. And all the fuck you care about is going to daddy's house, to daddy's world, trying to please him, and you don't even acknowledge her. That shit's gotta stop, man. That shit has got to stop. He doesn't give a flying fuck about you. I'm sorry that hurts. Go have a relationship with your mother. She's got all the power. She got all the money too. You just don't know it. She's got it all. But she's not giving it to you so you can go out and be a repeat of what he is. She's not gonna have it. So, fucking men. I watched this interview with these two Masons, and the one man, I don't know if he had fucking crickets in his underwear, but every time his little worshipful master would speak, he'd get all excited. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, and it's like, just go suck his ass. What the hell is wrong with you? It's cock worship. They worship each other. And they were telling the story about how they were trying to bring another man into the Mason Lodge thing, and how they need to go to the house and sit down with the wife and get this fucking shit. This is how absolutely fucking retarded these men are. We need to counsel with the wife, explain to her, this is not a bad thing. We're taking your husband away, a couple of days a week or a month or whatever it is, and it's good for him. And we need to sell it to her. Take her down to the cafe we had down at the Shriners Hospital, see all the great things we do and all this and that, how he's going to be a better man and all that. And the wife, they have a hard time with this sometimes because the wife's got the fucking antennas up. She's like, fucking shit isn't right here. Yeah, women, let me tell you something. If it was me, 4 generations of this shit, you found out he's a Mason, I would be very quiet. I'd pack my shit and get the fuck out of there, and I'd never speak to him again. You got hell on the way, and your children are gonna fucking gonna pay for it down the generations. But I want to say that I'm not a mean person, but I am pissed off about this whole thing going down. And if you don't, you'll change, and you'll get her power and her strength. And this ocean behind us, who do you think made that? See, man makes things with angles and on drawing boards and buildings and shit. She just danced and created that ocean out there. That's how she creates, by the way. Did you know that about her? She dances. She's a dancer. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. And she dances, and then her imagination is so powerful. Her imagination created that out there. We created the pool. She created that. That's hers. That's her. That's her power breaking on that shoreline right now. That ain't him. That's her. That's nature. Man couldn't fucking make a blade of grass. Did you know that? Man could not create one fucking blade of grass. Yet she created everything. That's the power that was given to her from Source. Let it go. Let this fucking asshole go. Recognize who they are. And the men who keep fucking wanting to be like their goddamn daddy, shit's gotta stop. I'm out.